The Gnawa music I got it in my mind. This African blue I got it in my soul.
About this service and the way that car selling works is that you can also work with your friends and kind of do a car swap. Now it's called car swap, but really what you're going to do is if a friend has a vehicle that you need for a collection, you can just steal that vehicle from him. Hopefully he's willing to let you just take it and bring it back to your warehouse, and then it will be a part of your collection, and you'll be able to sell it. So I think that's pretty cool that you can work with friends there.
Got it. So there you go, two suns in the sky. So bizarre. I thought I was going mad until I actually saw it. I've been looking for it so long. It's egg-shaped as well. So I don't know if you know the history behind this, or there's other stuff that comes with it. I mean, there's loads of references in the Bible. One of them being Joshua's longest day, which talks about a battle, funny enough. And basically they had 24 hours of sunlight. So they had a day, then another day. And this is said to have been caused by Nibiru coming between our moon and Earth. Obviously this is all just written in the Bible. It could all be a lot of nonsense. But at this point it then causes our poles to shift, so north becomes south, south becomes north. When this happens, supposedly it stops the Earth in its rotation. Within 24 hours we're back to normal. It's such a difficult shot to get, you know. I'm out there all the time. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not, and I don't know enough about space to know how it works. As you can see, there's definitely something there. I was quite fearful when I first started getting into all this stuff, but you know, as time goes on, managed to ground myself a bit more about it all. So these are the alien orbs that I keep picking up all the time, that's sitting in the skies. I've got loads of these above my house. They're really not that hard to film, but you do need a tripod because they're vibrational, so they're constantly moving. So it's virtually impossible to get them with a camera unless it's on a tripod. You've got to keep everything really, really still. A lot of the movement that you're seeing is actually coming from this thing. It's not me moving my camera around. They really are quite incredible. That's what makes me think they're alien, because I've just never seen anything like it. What is that? What's it doing? And you know, it's defying rules on filming with a video camera. You know, video cameras can only film when there's light. You know, so you can't really film stars because they're so far away. And I don't know how far out these things are from the Earth. I can zoom right into them. From a distance, they just look like stars. You know, when you're looking at them with the naked eye. I mean, this thing with everyone going on about Venus, I don't know, you know, it's another thing that you could look at around kind of 5:30, 6 o'clock in the evening, just as it's starting to get dark, and you'll just see one light in the sky, which I've been calling Venus. But when I've zoomed in on that, it's just one of these things, which I can only imagine is you know, it's a lot bigger than the ones that just look like stars, or alternatively it's a lot nearer. I don't know. Again, it's another thing. These are only my personal, you know, just trying to make some sort of sense of it. This one interests me because it's got something underneath it, which again I don't know what that is. It gives you a really good example of how they're flaring, which to me makes me believe, again, I don't know, that they're beaming something down to the planet because of the way that they flare like this and then they flare again. It is incredible. And if you've seen the surface, it just looks so dimply, like there's lumps all over it. I personally kind of feel like, I don't know, you know, obviously stuff like this happens. This happened by accident, finding aliens. I wasn't really a big alien person. There was no reason for me to believe in aliens. I'd only ever seen them in films, really. So I wasn't either way. There was no reason why I didn't really believe in them. I just hadn't really seen any. I was looking for Nibiru, or that sun next to ours. Ended up coming across these. I've just been fascinated by them, really, as to trying to figure out. You do a lot of thinking, don't you? Why are they here? Why is there so many of them? You know, maybe they've always been there, but I've only just decided to look. I don't think they have. I would have noticed them. I remember saying to my wife that we don't get stars, really. You know, we get tiny little dots because we've got too much light pollution. And suddenly, we've got all these really bright stars above our house. And I'm like, what on earth are they doing there? So I've kind of changed the, you can put filters, decided to just put a filter over just to see what effect it had, and I quite like this. This one was just flaring all the time, but going so big that it kind of almost disappears and then reappears. And then it brings other things into play, doesn't it? These, you know, the lyrics or the words that are coming up on the screen are the lyrics from a David Bowie song called Starman, and they, you know, they've got a whole different meaning. I thought I'd share them with you. So, you know, again, talking personally, I kind of feel like, you know, I was a bit fearful in the beginning, and I didn't feel very nice. You know, it was kind of like, the whole thing was making me feel a bit uncomfortable. You know, where's this going? I think it is going somewhere. I think there is going to be an event at some point. I don't know when. I made that mistake already of thinking that it would have been before Christmas, then made an apology. So who can tell? It's space. You know, once you start looking up there, it's just incredible. You know, it does have quite a, you know, because I'm spending so much time filming and looking, and we don't ever look. You know, there was no reason for me to look up. You know, unless it's raining or something like that, or there's a storm coming in, or it's a really beautiful day. You just wouldn't really look up for long periods. Now I've started looking, I think it's really changed my, you know, well, first of all, more importantly, it just makes you think about that subject matter. And I kind of believe that where, you know, well, I know anyway, I mean, we've been going on about it for a long while, that we're moving into the age of Aquarius. Which again, bizarrely enough, only happens, I think we move from house to house every 2,000 odd years. This, they say that with Nibiru is, it comes through every 3,700 years, something like that, according to the Mayans. Apparently they got it dead right. How? They must have had the technology that we've got now, or better. But that was their time scale, and it seems to have come through on that, you know, as it should. So anyway, yeah, so I went through a period of experiencing fear, and now I've moved away from that. You know, my feet are well and truly on the ground, and I moved to love. And I honestly think that's all you or I have to do, is to stay in that place. I think when you're in love, you know, you're able to give, which is really important. You know, we're all going to need to help each other. It makes you more understanding, and it makes you feel part of a collective. You know, if you go with fear, that brings out the self, that makes you alienate yourself from people. It brings anger up to the surface, blame, and quite blessed that I'm alive and on this planet at this time when this happens. And I think there's a reason all of us are here at this time. And I think we're going to move into a new era. It's going to be very different to how it is at the moment. You can already see that society is, you know, without sounding dramatic about it, but it's not working as it should. You know, on one level you can say, well, you know, everything's like, you know, what are you going on about? You know, everything's normal. Well, you know, things that worry me or concern me, it's like, you know, there's people dying out in Lebanon. There's people that are suffering, that are homeless, starving, and I think we're failing as a race if we don't make that our priority. You know, that should be something that we should be very, very concerned about and focused on. But because the media decide what they're gonna show us, what they're not gonna show us, yeah, that's we live day by day, preoccupied with just stuff. You know, what is that stuff? You know, when you talk about Brexit or Trump, or yeah, it's just stuff. There's nothing really happening with that. You know, it just makes you fearful. It makes you worried. You know, why aren't they getting on with it? But nothing actually seems to happen. You know, none of the policies that Trump's put forward have gone through. We don't seem to be moving that far further forward with Brexit. You know, it's just a whole lot of discussions, and collectively, the two of them, they just make you feel a bit insecure, a bit uncomfortable, a bit unsafe. But maybe we're supposed to be. Maybe they're deliberately making us feel like that because they must be aware that this planet's there, even though, you know, it's the other thing that started me, that made me feel concerned, if you want, is the fact that NASA claim that there is no ninth planet. And then it just seems really weird when I'm standing in my back garden looking at a sun next to our sun, scratching my head thinking, well, why? They got the best equipment. You know, they got telescopes in space. They know this thing's there. But they don't want to tell us. And you know, part of me thinks, yeah, why would you tell the masses? You're just going to cause panic. But you know, is it going to have an effect on us? Is it, you know, and if so, what's going to happen? You know, when you can look at other subject matter that's, you know, again, that it's not covered up, but you just get little bits and pieces. You know, as far as I don't know whether you're aware of the poles are supposed to be shifting. The planet's supposed to be wobbling. Both the caps, you know, north and south, seem to be melting down, which is obviously creating a lot more water in the seas around us. Flooding is you know, there's not a week that goes by without somewhere flooding. And that seems to be becoming a lot more frequent. And earthquakes are just, to steal a pun, off the Richter scale. It's just ridiculous. It's just, I don't know. You know, I don't know how many, 30, 40 earthquakes a day. And yeah, you would think that some of them would make it to mainstream. There's volcanoes that are becoming active. You know, all that stuff can, you know, at the very least make you feel a bit concerned as to there's definitely something happening with our planet at the moment. And all of it just makes you feel a bit uncertain. You know, and thoughts can creep in. So I've just moved to, I can't do anything about, you or I can't do anything about all this stuff. It's a natural thing that just happens. And we're just here along for the ride. So I think that the best thing we can do is look after ourselves. And I think that by producing love, advocating to love, projecting love to the planet, to people around us, family, friends, looking after each other, I think is shows the positive sides of what we are, whereas we can't individually do much about what's happening out in the Middle East and into these countries that are being flooded and people are being displaced, but we can project love, and I strongly believe that's the way forward. Keep yourself healthy, exercise, eat well. I really believe these orbs are giving off, they must be giving off some serious energy. And I can't help but think that we're being affected by whatever vibration they're beaming down to Earth. I've seen various videos, people are talking about the same thing, really. I just believe it because of the way they swell in size all the time. This is a really good example of how vibrational they are. I mean, this was just a weird night. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. These things were just bouncing around like, just being really crazy. I think there's so much that we don't know. I think we're going to have a massive, massive expanse of our consciousness is upon us. And that's the bit that I'm focused on, really. Where we can affect. And that I've been a healer for years, so this is my thing. This is what I've always been promoting, but no one's really shown that much interest in. And I think we're heading to a time and place where our vibrations and how we communicate with each other, how we are, how we feel, all those things, the feeling things, not the thinking things, are going to become the thing. that's going to be. So here's the moon. So I bumped into someone the other day. This is a funny story. We were just chatting about all this sort of stuff. They came from South Africa, and they told me, they shared with me something quite interesting, that the Zulus and another tribe to the south claim that there wasn't a moon, and suddenly then there was a moon. Which is a bit bizarre. And I've heard other stories that the moon could be hollow. But there you go, it just goes with the territory, as much as things are bizarre, they're just getting more and more. Now I think it will just increase, that bizarreness of actually I can't believe what I'm hearing, I can't believe what I'm seeing. It's just going to continue for a good while. So yeah, this is I zoom in and out. The reason for zooming in and out is, as you can see, the more you zoom in and out, the more you see things that weren't there before, excluding that orb that's sitting to the right, top right hand of the picture. It's just blinking all over the place. But yeah, I'd strongly recommend to watch this part a few times, because there is so much going on. Your eyes cannot focus on the whole picture. There's things that catch your eye. Like, what's that? See that funny dot thing? Top left, is it? Yeah. What is that? Now I've got some. Look at this now. Look, there's planets all over the place. Look at all these moons. Are they moons? What are they? I think they are moons. The blue one. It's called Ishtu. The Hopi Indians call it the blue star Kachina. And they're bizarre because they don't orbit Nibiru in the same way that our moon orbits. They just spin in one place. They always stay in one place and they just spin round. So this could be an armada. I don't know what this is. Look at these bizarre shapes. But I think you can safely say, again, even if you're really skeptical, that there's stuff up there. Our moon is not alone. So I tried to get some footage on the last full moon, but the weather's just been atrocious, so it's been too much cloud and I just can't get near it, which I'm gutted about, because I felt like it's just getting, the stuff up there is just getting, the visibility is getting better with each month that passes. So again, I'd like to encourage you all to make comments, subscribe. I'm going to carry on making these videos regardless, because I've kind of learned that really there's only certain people that I can talk to about this subject matter at this moment. I'm sure that will change, and I just hope that these videos will be a good reference point in the months that follow. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. My voice hasn't annoyed you too much. And yeah, see you in the next video.
Throw it out.